Deep in the heart of Texas, the engines will wail and drivers will quail at the challenge that awaits them. Hi, and thanks for joining us for the final round of the Missed Apex Formula 3 Challenge as we cross the pond to one of the newest Formula 1 circuits, a circuit of the Americas. From the chaos-generating first turn to the savage tire-eating S's, it's all on the line as the drivers get their last chance at redemption and a new champion will be crowned. To get us underway today, please give a big welcome to your commentators, Chris Stevens and Chris Catman Turner.
6 drivers remain in mathematical contention, but at the end of the night, only one will be champion. Welcome to the final round of the inaugural season of the Missed Apex iRacing F3 Cup, live from the Circuit of the Americas. My name is Chris Stevens. I'll be your lead commentator for this evening. Joining me, as always, is Chris Catman Turner. And Chris, boy oh boy, do we have a showdown tonight. 3 championships to decide and plenty of contenders.
Absolutely, it's fantastic to be back in the box beside you, Chris, and we are in for a treat this evening. There are so many things up for grabs tonight, and we're going to be talking to all of them as we go along.
Absolutely, and it is great to have you back by my side in the commentary box. Welcome back. It's been a break, to say the least, but yeah, good to have you back.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the final. I've shot in at the end and I'm going to steal all the glory, which is not what Tim Ellis has just covered himself in as we're watching, as he's done a little donut onto the wonderfully painted asphalt.
He has indeed. That is down at the final 2 corners that he's just gone off there. Tim Ellis, one of 6 drivers still left in mathematical contention for the overall championship, but we will get into that later. Before we get into all of that, I would just like to say thank you all for joining us tonight and for the season. If you've been with us since the first round at Spa, it's certainly been a journey and a half, this brand new season, and a whole new championship with the F3 car. Just run some stats by you. We have had 65 different drivers so far this season, 9 different winners and 19 different podium finishes. So, you know, we were a little bit worried that the skill level of the F3 car, maybe we were making that jump too soon, but it's still been a fiercely competitive championship.
If anything, as we've gone up the ranks and the cars got harder, we've just got closer racing. There's been some awesome battles this year, and I'm looking forward to some more tonight.
Absolutely. So we're into the final 20 minutes of this free practice session, after which they will go into a 10-minute open qualifying session. So it's not like in the officials, if you've used iRacing before, where you get 2 flying laps on your own to set the grid for the race. We have an open session, so everybody piles onto the track at the exact same time. We do get some gamesmanship involved in that as well, and that's what we like to see. And then we have 3 races for tonight. We have the feature race, which will be worth 60 points for a race win, and then we have 2 top 20 reverse grid races that will be worth 50 points for a race win each. But before we continue about all of that, we have had a fantastic season so far. 5 rounds of unbelievable racing. And well, if you are just joining us for the first time because this is the finale, or because you've only just found out that we're doing this championship for whatever reason, we want to get you up to speed. So here's a quick look at what has happened so far in this inaugural F3 championship. Missed Apex Motorsport returned to action with the brand new iRacing F3 Cup, welcoming the new F3 car with a bumper 55 car field. Danny HENNEY'S title defense got off to a poor start after making contact with Brad Philpott on the opening lap. Then, they made contact! And Philpott, no! Can Hatton make it work? He breaks deep and goes around the outside and claims the lead. He has got the line. Is he just going to shove Hatton out? They both spin! Allowing Kyle Power to take the spoils as the first victor of the new series. Alexander Dobbelsberger was untouchable in the first of the 2 reverse grid sprint races. Henney got one last shot at victory in the 3rd race of the night. Henney spun though! Henney spun out of 2nd place! Williams wins! Tim Ellis took his first podium of the season in race 3. And, combined with his 7th and 4th place finishes in races 1 and 2, put him at the head of the championship. Henney struck back in the first race of the Nurburgring, taking a commanding win to start clawing back the gap to Ellis. Dorian Tabachnik delivered on his promising pace to take the win in race 2 on his Missed Apex Motorsport debut. Dorian Tabachnik, and he takes the win! Alex Joelsma had threatened winning pace during practice, and it finally came together for him in race 3 to take his maiden victory. And Alex Joelsma is an iRacing F3 Cup race winner. Henny took another dominant feature race victory in Barcelona to become the first repeat winner of the season. The reigning Formula Renault Challenge champion didn't have an entirely smooth night, however.
Dobitzberger got in a crash, and that's taken out Henny as well, so two big rivals there out in the first lap.
Ishmael Basso fought his way through to take the win in race 2, despite a final corner spin. Hatton took advantage of a reverse grid pole to convert it into his first victory of the season. So it's going to be David Hatton who claims his first victory of the season, and that does not sound quite right, but believe me, it's true. The series returned to its most popular venue at Silverstone for the 4th round of the championship, where Henny not only claimed yet another feature race win, but also stormed through the order in the reverse grid race to make it 2 in a row. But here comes Danny Henny meanwhile, across the line, 2 race victories in a row! A mistake in race 3 meant he was unable to convert it into a triple, leaving Tim Ellis out in front to take his first win of the season. Henny's fine form continued for the series' first visit to the Red Bull Ring, dominating the feature race. Meanwhile, Danny Henny has just been absolutely imperious and is on course to take yet another feature race. A spin in race 2, however, left him out of contention. That opened up the door for Alexander Dobitzberger, who spun during the feature race, and David Hatton to battle it out at the front. Fantastic racing once again in the Missed Apex iRacing F3 Cup. If Hatton wants to reclaim the lead of this race, he's running out of corners. Dobitzberger safely navigates that final corner and brilliantly takes the win. A strong grid position for race 3, however, put Henny back at the front. There's Henny already up into 2nd place. Is he going to be challenging for the lead down into turn 2? And he's on course now for 2 championships in a row. Ahead of the final round of this inaugural season, where drop scores can no longer be taken, Henny holds a 64-point lead over Dobitzberger, his nearest rival, who is just 7 points ahead of Ellis. Alex Joelsma has stretched his advantage at the top of the gold driver standings to 20 points, while Lucas Raskowitz's maiden overall podium now puts him well clear of his silver driver competitors. Chris, it's funny to look back on the first round that we had there at Spa, and all of the different things. We had no idea what was going to happen in this brand new championship, and it certainly delivered in spades. It's so funny seeing, Kyle was the early championship leader after that first race. Danny had a bit of a shocker. Ellis was the one leading it out of the first 3 races, and we've all come so far since then. The championship's got such a different complexion now.
Absolutely, and consistency is the key in any of these championships, particularly with high point scoring positions. And you got to give it to Danny Henny for his feature race performances so far. He's won 4 out of 5 of them, and I suspect he's probably the hot tip to make it 5 out of 6 this evening in the first race. But that first round at Spa, you're absolutely right. Tim Ellis was on top of the championship there, despite only having 1 podium in that whole evening. It's all about consistency, Chris.
Absolutely, and well, for Danny, he's been absolutely superfluous in these feature race events, but so far tonight, it's not all been going his own way. Luca Harrison currently at the top of the timings on this practice session, not by much, I will say. It's only 96 thousandths of a second separating them, but they could make all the difference come qualifying, for example. But we will focus on lap times later when we get into qualifying. Before we look at the championship standings as well, let's just get a feel for this circuit. Another brand new venue for Missed Apex esports. We've had plenty of them so far this season. This is yet another one, and I've got to say, I think this is proving to be probably the most challenging one that the drivers are having to adapt to. We got an email this morning of an additional safety briefing specifically for this track, because drivers have had issues with track limits, with rejoinings, with the curbing here in particular as well, because especially in the S's they can just spit you out and you have no idea where you're going to end up. So with that in mind, all 20 turns of this 3.7 kilometer circuit seem like they're going to challenge all of our drivers. But we asked Danny Henney, the championship leader, to guide us around this track ahead of this weekend's event.
Hi guys, and welcome to an onboard lap with me, Danny Henney, around the Circuit of the Americas. Coming through the last corner now, heading over the start-finish line, just gearing ourselves up, ready to bang in a fast lap. We're going to relax up this straight, waiting for turn 1 to approach us. Up the hill, we're going to brake just before the white line, down 3 gears and get the nose into the apex early. Pick the throttle up on the apex, straighten the car as quick as you can, watch for the kick oversteer and stay to the right and hug this curb. Off the curb, we're going to get into the next left. It's going to be flat, bit of a lift through the right, longer lift through the left. Here we're going to have a lift again, down 1 gear, a little bit of brake, get the nose in, over to the right to open this left, bit of a lift to get the nose in. In here we're going to go on the brakes, get in early, down 1 gear, hug that curb and open the car to the left as quick as you can for maximum traction. Heading down now into the next big stop onto the back straight. We're going to look for the 2 white lines on the right, we're going to brake in between them, get down to 2nd gear and get the nose in early to the apex, pick the throttle up smoothly for maximum traction down this long big back straight. Track's fantastic, so you've got plenty of time here to enjoy the views, getting ready for the next big stop coming up. Heading down into this big stop, we're looking for the white lines on the right. We're going to go past the first and brake at the second, down 3 gears to second, in early again, pick up the throttle as early as you can. Over to the left, we're going to hit the brakes, down 1 gear, get the nose in, keep a nice continuous arc while picking the throttle up. Here we're going to brake in a straight line and beat the corner, down 3 gears to second, get as close as you can to the apex, which will allow you to pick that throttle as hard as you can. Here we're going to turn in, stay early, all the grip is low, get as close as you can to these apexes in the curb. Stay over to the right on the apex, we're going to brake just as the tarmac goes darker, down 1 gear, chuck the car in, pick the throttle up as early as you can. Into the last corner, we're going to brake just before the white line, down to second again, into the apex, pick the throttle up hard, watch the kick oversteer and across the start finish line. What a fantastic track it is to be racing, it should be a good event. Hope you enjoyed the lap, it was a 1:55.5, good luck for tonight.
Less than 8 minutes to go in this practice session. So, Chris, why don't we get down to the meat of it and talk about the championship? We have 6 drivers left in contention. We're going to talk to 3 of them before qualifying starts, hopefully. So first up, I think we're going to get Tim Ellis in here. And while Chris just brings him into the channel, I can tell you that he is currently 71 points adrift of championship leader Danny Henney. If Danny wins the feature race a little bit later on today, then Tim will need a top 10 finish to remain in championship contention for the final 2 races of the season. Do we have Tim here?
We should do. I brought him into the channel. Tim, are you free to have a chat for a second? I know you're pounding in the laps in the practice session.
Yep, I am. Can you hear me?
You're loud and clear.
Yes, good.
So how do you rate your chances this evening? So first race, you've got to get a top 10. How's it looking so far?
Well, that would be nice. Is that to stay in contention to win the championship?
Yeah, absolutely. So Danny's got a little bit of a march on the 2 of you. You and Alex Dobertsberger. You're realistically the 3 who can make it this evening.
Right, okay. I'm assuming that's if Danny. Well, yeah, I'm not really looking to win it. I think it's impossible. Like, unless Danny has a really, really bad evening. I'm mostly looking on the quick guys behind me, like Kyle and Williams and Hatton, and I need to sort of maximise points to try and keep ahead of him. I think.
Tim, your strength. Sorry, Chris. Just your strength this season has been your consistency. You were able to lead the championship before drop scores were taken into account for a really long time. Are you going to be able to pull something out the bag tonight?
Well, I hope so. I think the hard bit is going to be putting in a qualifying lap without a 1X, because I've been practicing qualifying runs all practice session, and I've had about 2 without a 1X. But yeah, the important thing is going to be not to spin, and I also spun on our practice race last night, so I'm hoping that today goes a bit better.
Cool. Well, thank you, Tim. We'll let you get back on track, and you can have your last 5 minutes of free practice there.
Cool, thank you.
Cool, and good luck for tonight. Next up, we have Alexander Dobertsberger, and while Chris brings him in, I will just again run you through his championship predicament at the moment. So he's currently on 438 points, 64 adrift of Henny in the championship. He only needs a top 13 to guarantee to take the title to race to the first reverse grid race. Do we have Alex in the channel with us?
I'm here.
Yep, there he is. So Alex, welcome to the commentary channel. How are you feeling about tonight?
Yeah, a bit nervous. To be honest, that's not my favorite track, but I'll see what I can do.
So far, you're the only driver to win more than one race so far this season. Do you think you can make it a third at some point tonight?
Yeah, hopefully the track doesn't have too much overtaking spots, so race 2 and 3 are gonna get really interesting. But as we know, everything is possible.
Cool. Can you stop Danny Henny?
I'll try.
Good man. All right, we'll let you get back into practice, and we do have championship leader Danny Henny in the chat room with us. Danny, your thoughts ahead of what is potentially going to be a record-breaking evening. We've not had a double champion in Missed Apex Esports history. Do you think you can be the first?
That's the plan. It's looking okay at the minute. The car's a bit loose, but I've got it roughly where I want it. So, yeah, a little bit confident, but not overconfident.
This track seems to be throwing up all sorts of complications with overtaking, with track limits. Do you think in those 2 reverse grid races you run the risk of coming unstuck a little bit?
Definitely. Yeah, really, I don't think I'll be able to make the positions up like I usually do. But then again, it all depends how lap 1 goes, but it's just a lot harder to pass. You have to be within 0.4 on the straight to be able to use the slipstream, and it's difficult to get that close.
Okay, Danny, well, good luck for tonight. We wish you all the best. The plan probably, I assume, is win the feature race again and see how you go from there?
Yeah, that's the plan. If I'm honest, I'd love to get it done in race 1 so I could just get rid of these nerves. It's a horrible feeling, but yeah, hopefully race 1 goes to plan, and then race 2 I'll keep an eye on Dobertsberger to see where he is, and then decide whether to chuck the kitchen sink at it or just bring it home for the points.
All right, well, good luck, and we'll let you get back into practice for the final 2 minutes.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
So we have just 2 minutes left in this practice session. Luca Harrison currently at the top of the times on a 154.8. As I mentioned earlier, just those 96 thousandths of a second separate him and Danny Henny at the head of the field. We have Alex Dronsma, the gold championship leader as well. This will be a good time to talk about the other 2 championships. If you don't know, we have 3 driver classes in this championship. We have the platinum. We've just spoken to those. They're fighting for the overall title. Then we have the gold. In that championship, there are still 9 drivers mathematically in contention for that one. But realistically, we're looking at Alex Dronsma, who leads Ismael Basso by just 10 points at the moment. And Luca Harrison is 68 behind, but there is a potential he could try and sneak something. You know, he is top of the times at the moment. So if he can bag a race win, maybe he can claw back some championship potential as well. Alex Johnsman, though, going into this one with a suspended pit lane start after a bit of a cheeky incident at the Red Bull Ring last time out. So, as you can see here, actually, this turn 2 incident where he moves off the track on the left-hand side and manages to overtake a few people, which did not sit too well with race control. So he has incurred the wrath of the stewards, and any more naughty behaviour, he will get a pit lane start.
And
of course,
this circuit is sorry, Chris. I'd say this circuit is actually quite a difficult one in terms of track limits, because there's lots of areas where you can either run wide and gain an advantage. The S's in particular, there's quite a lot of easy ways you could get some penalties there.
Absolutely. We heard Tim saying he's been really struggling to actually get in a qualifying lap without getting a track limits issue. Checkered flag has gone out for practice, so that gives me just enough time before we get going for qualifying to tell you about Lukas Raskovic at the head of the silver class. He is 138 points clear of Richard Molden in that championship, so pretty much a top basically any points would guarantee him the title. He just needs to not be outscored by 38 points, which for Richard Molden would mean finishing inside the top 6 in the feature race. So Raskovic very much looking likely to wrap this one up in the feature race. And of course, the thing about the different classes as well, if you finish in the top 3, there is a very good chance of being promoted a class as well. So the top 2 in gold, they could well become platinum next season. Raskovic very likely to get a gold rating for next season. But if you're in the bottom 3 of the championship as well, you risk relegation as well. So that is definitely one to keep an eye on as the night progresses. The outlaps are well underway. A train of cars flying down the back straight now at the very start of qualifying. We're watching Danny Henney in that familiar bright red Venom Works livery, car number 1, who has moved himself up second in the queue. It's Alexander Dobertsberger, his nearest championship rival, who is at the head of this pack in that familiar black and white Ace of Spades car. And then I think it's Lukas Raskovic, the silver points leader, who I was just talking about. That is just behind Danny on track, followed by Luca Harrison, who is sporting some new colours, a bit of a tiger skin livery with the gold and black on his car. And obviously the familiar thing we're all, come to terms with at this point is that these early laps in qualifying, we maybe shouldn't read too much into them. These tyres take a very long time to get up to temperature, and it could well be that the last 2 laps or so are the ones where it really, really counts. But Dobertsberger and the rest of the crew come across the line now to start their first flying laps in qualifying.
Yes, Chris, I think that's why they've gone out so quick, so early, and fighting for position rather than trying to find themselves a space, because it takes a few laps to get up to temperature, and these laps are taking, close to 2 minutes for the out laps, so you can't hang about, and there's only a 10-minute session, so you've really got to crack on and get those times in, Chris.
Absolutely, but we have got some cars who are sitting behind others and are really going to feel the wash from the dirty air from the car in front of them through this S's section. Danny shouldn't have a problem with that. He's got relatively clear air, but certainly behind them there are a couple of cars that I think will be wanting to back up at some point. I'll give you an indicator on the sector times. Dobertsberger has come through with a 47.8 in the first sector, but Danny Henney is more than 0.6 quicker than that in the first sector alone.
He is, and behind them, Tim Ellis is kind of in the middle of the queue of cars. He's our third championship contender. He's actually got himself probably in a good space. He's got a tow, but hopefully not enough to cause him any downforce loss through the crucial first sector. So I think he's managed to find himself a good gap.
Through that middle sector, Henney picked up another 0.3 of a second over Dobertsberger. So we'll come down to this final sector. They've gone through that tricky stadium section and then this flat out triple right-hander. Stay low there, as Danny mentioned on his hot lap video. That's where the grip is. And then these final 2 corners where it would be oh so easy to throw away your lap with a 1x.
Yeah, that second to last corner with the massive runoff on the outside, it is so tempting to go out there. They actually ran a race once where they allowed cars to go out there and they were going miles off the circuit. It's so easy, particularly as you...
the IndyCar race.
It was a GT and IndyCar race, and they did it, and it was terrible, to be honest with you. But it's so easy to go out there because there's a lot of bumps. It's slightly off camber, so they can easily just slide out there. But here we're enforcing track limits, so it could be that you get a penalty for going out there, Chris.
Absolutely, you will. Not just there, on plenty of points on this track, and especially this S's section as well. You see, on the inside, they take so much curb, but if you take too much, that will also get you a 1x as well. So at that first round of laps, it was Danny Henney quickest, unsurprisingly, on a 56.6, nearly 0.3 of a second quicker than Luca Harrison in second place. Alex Jonesma, the gold points leader, has slotted into third place ahead of Tim Ellis, Kyle Power, Dobbsberger, Williams and Alex Van Gien. That is your top 8 after that first round of laps. And Henney now, I think, is going to find himself in a bit of an awkward position as he's going to get tucked up behind his championship rival.
Yeah, there's going to be a little bit of gamesmanship going on here. And unlike in the Hungaroring in the Formula One, hopefully the wonderful camera angles provided by Steve Amy should be able to give us a better view of it. These guys play pretty fair, Chris, but there's no love lost between these two. Hopefully we'll keep it nice and clean.
Yeah, absolutely. We haven't had any kind of big outbursts yet in Missed Apex esports, but we know these guys fight hard and fair.
They are, but they're under a massive amount of pressure tonight, Chris. You were just, Danny, he's cool as a cucumber, but he was just telling us how stressed he is and all the butterflies and everything. So, you could get a little bit of the handbags at dawn if things come to blows in this final evening.
Well, I say that Henney might have come underneath Dobbsberger there. Dobbsberger's actually gone quicker. Henny's last lap did not count, presumably for track limits. It is now Harrison quickest on a 55.7, half a second clear of Dobbsberger, who's another 0.4 clear of Henney. So the pressure that we were talking about is there. 3.5 minutes left in this session, so 2 laps to go, which means they're probably only going to get 4 flying laps in this session, which is probably one of the fewest we'll see all season long. Jonesma still in 4th, Ellis 5th. See if anyone else has slotted in. We've got Leader and Hatton who've bumped up to 6th and 7th respectively. I think Power and Williams also hit trouble on that last flying lap as well, because their last laps didn't count either.
That's right, and Henney, Dobbsberger's dropped back a little bit, so Henney is right underneath his rear wing. He's going to get a tow here, Chris, but I think he's going to start to be affected by dirty air, so he might actually want to just can this lap and drop back a little bit, to be honest with you, but I don't think that's how he thinks. He's an out-and-out racer and just wants to go for it, I think.
Well, I'll tell you now, Dobbsberger is now matching Henney's sector times, so I don't think Henney's getting any closer. Either that, he's stuck in the dirty air, or Dobbsberger's picked up the pace, and we've got to keep an eye out for Luca Harrison right behind them as well, because he is lapping quicker at the moment. This lap has been about the same sort of pace, so we'll see how this unfolds as they come over the start-finish line in a few moments' time. Just over 2 minutes left on the clock. Henney is definitely getting some aero wash from that distance. So Henney reclaims the top spot with that one, 55.7. Harrison did not improve. He is now just 19 thousandths of a second away from what I believe would be his first pole position in Missed Apex Esport. David Hatton now goes into third place as well on a 56 flat. He's just shy of 0.3 of a second behind them. Then Jonesma and Dobbsberger slipped down into 5th place now.
David Hatton's always won for...
Oh, sorry, I think we lost Catman there. I'll finish off his point for him. Yeah, David Hatton, the one you've always got to watch out for. He just lurks in the shadows most of the time and doesn't show his pace until the absolute last second. But we are coming up to the final moments of this qualifying session, and look, Dobbelsberger feeling the need to try and break the toe of Henney, who's surely going to pass Dobbelsberger down this straight, which could well bring an end to this lap. Certainly the first sector times were very good on that one, I will say, but this next sector now could be compromised because he's had to make that pass. We've got 43 seconds left on the clock. It's going to be so nip and tuck to see if they can bag in an extra lap, although I don't think they will be able to. So these could be the final efforts. It's got to be eyes on Luca Harrison at the moment, and his first two sector times, they don't look good enough at the moment to take pole position away from Danny Henney. So Henney comes out of that final corner now. 15 seconds left on the clock, so these three should get one more lap in. It's going to be a one-lap shootout. Henney now with clear air. Harrison now coming up on the back of these two as well. I think Ellis is just going to get over the line as well, but for everyone else, that will be it. So Henney has lowered the benchmark further to a 55.4. He's now 0.184 of a second clear of Harrison in second place. Hatton stays in third place for now. But it looks, and Dobbelsberger's gone off the road in the middle of the S's section, so he is not going to improve on his 7th place grid spot at the moment. So all eyes on Henney, Harrison and Ellis for these final moments in qualifying.
It's the dream scenario for Henney. He's got clear air. He's got nobody behind him. He's surely going to try and put in that pumping lap. He's already nearly 2/10 ahead of the rest of the field. Let's see if he can just pull that benchmark down that little bit further.
Just to give you an update in the gold class, Dronsma in 4th place overall, well clear of his nearest title rival, Ishmael Basso, who I can't even see in the top 30 at the moment, so he will have had an absolute disaster. Lucas Raskowitz, your silver class leader, he is in 15th overall, again ahead of his nearest championship rival, Richard Molden. So just a few corners to go for Henney and Harrison. It could well be that they'll bail out of these laps, but we're going to keep following them until we know what they are going to be doing.
Basso is sitting in the pit lane and has not set a time, so he must be having some technical issues, Chris.
Well, that's a bit of a disaster for him, and not how he would want to start this final round. Remember, he is second in the gold standings, but all eyes on Danny Henney at the moment, and he cannot improve on his lap time. And neither can... Harrison does improve, but not enough, only by 100th. And that means Danny Henney is once again on pole position, and that is 5 out of 6 for the season. Once again, it looks like we are going to be treated to another Henney-Harrison battle up at the front of the field. Now, we've seen Harrison. He has been very, very quick so far this season, but he has got himself involved in a few scrapes, and that has compromised his championship. He is a gold driver rating. He is 3rd in that championship at the moment. Now, with Dronsma up in 4th, okay, he's not going to be taking too many points away from the class leader, but he can still regain some ground in his championship. But Harrison has most definitely been fighting for overall podiums, still chasing that first win in Missed Apex Esports.
Henney will be happy that Dobbelsberger is languishing down in 7th place, but I think it will make him a little bit nervous to have Harrison alongside him, given that Henney has had a few incidents himself. Thinking back to the first race alongside Brad Philpott, he actually crashed into him and kind of ruined his perfect score for feature races. So we'll have to see how this goes. And they're forming up on the grid, Chris.
Absolutely, and Philpott also ruined his run of pole positions as well, because Philpott was on pole that particular day. So we are about to get underway for the championship finale of this inaugural season of Missed Apex iRacing F3 Cup. The championship leader, Danny Henney, is on pole position. His nearest championship rival, Alexander Dobbelsberger, is in 7th place. Remember, Alex needs a top 10 in this race to guarantee that the championship will go to race 2. Tim Ellis starting in 6th place as well. He's 3rd in the championship. He needs a top 13 to guarantee the title goes to race 2. Henny has done everything he needs to do so far to wrap this up with 2 races to go, but he's got a few drivers behind him who will want to stop that. Luca Harrison chasing his first win in Missed Apex Esport. David Hatton starting on the 2nd row alongside the Gold Driver Championship leader Alex Dronsma, who is surely going to be taking a big leap in his championship, with Ishmael Basso surely starting right at the back of the grid after failing to set a time in qualifying. Kyle Power starts 5th, and then Ellis and Dobbelsberger, as we mentioned. Gregory Leader, Stephen Williams, and Adam Rosales. That is your top 10 for this feature race. Don't forget, it's worth 60 points for the win, and then we go to 2 top 20 reverse grid races. The grid is set, and we are about to get underway for the final 3 races of the inaugural season of the Missed Apex iRacing F3 Cup. Away they go, and there's plenty of wheel spin off the line, and Harrison immediately moves over to the right-hand side to try and cover off David Hatton on the run into turn 1. Power looking down the inside, but it's Hatton who's trying to go around the outside and claim 2nd place, but he can't draw alongside Harrison. Power leads Dronsma behind them, then Dobbelsberger and Ellis. So Dobbelsberger's been able to jump Ellis off the line, but it's Henny who leads Harrison as they go into the S's.
Crucially, all the front runners have kept it clean, so now they just need to make sure the rest of this lap goes well, and then they can start to make inroads on the guys in front of them. Dobbelsberger does need to make some progress though. As I say, he is up to 6th, but he's got Kyle Power, who is in theory in contention for the championship as well. He has to beat Danny Henny, but he's not going to be an easy man to pass.
Absolutely not. Henny already trying to stretch his legs up at the front of the field, all getting a bit close as they concertina up in the braking zone of turn 11. There's Stephen Williams in 8th place, trying to get underneath Tim Ellis there in the braking zone. He'll be tucked up right in the slipstream down this 1.2 kilometre back straight on the opening lap. Remember, you need to be around within half a second to try and make a move down into turn 12, and that's exactly what Williams is going to try and do on the championship contender, Tim Ellis. And he is trying to go through, but Ellis is braving it out around the outside. Can he hold the line into this next right-hander as they go into the stadium section? Still they're side by side. This is fantastic racing on the opening lap at the Circuit of the Americas. And surely Williams now with the inside line will go through. He does indeed, and up into 7th place, but Ellis fighting back down into this triple right-hander flat out, and that is brave stuff. Ellis not taking no for an answer on this opening lap. Up at the front of the field though, Danny Henny is rounding that final corner, and he is not really pulling away from Luca Harrison there. If anything, Harrison has been able to gap Hatton a little bit, so the gap at the end of lap 1 is 0.4 of a second between Henny and Harrison. Hatton is 3rd by 1.1 seconds, then Power and Dronsma, Dobbelsberger, Ellis, Williams, Leader, and Alex McBride is your top 10, although Power down into turn 1 looked like he just got a bit hot into turn 1, or it could have been Hatton actually, because Power is right on the back of that black and lime green Monster Energy number 666 car that is driven by the inaugural Formula Renault Challenge champion. And Kyle Power in that luminous lime green number 6 car. He's also got Alex Dronsma for close company. A little mistake there in the S's, and that's just cost him the run on Hatton actually, and has put Dronsma right on his back bumper. He's having to go defensive down into turn 11, and that surely is going to compromise his run down the back straight. And we see Hatton move into the extreme left-hand side of the track. Power following in his footsteps as well. Dronsma about to make the move. He's going to go down the outside. He'll actually pick up the slipstream from Hatton there. But Power with the line should be able to just hold this one out for 4th place. He can get a good enough exit, and still has to go defensive on the way into the stadium section though. And look at Alexander Dobbelsberger being invited into this squabble as well.
It is very inviting, Chris, but he has to keep his nose clean. He just can't stick it in there, and he's got to make a clean move past, because if he even thinks about getting any damage, that's going to be his race over, because this circuit, you have to be able to follow, and for that you need good downforce, because this is a very fast circuit, Chris.
We have seen quite a few dramas in Missed Apex Esports finales. How could we forget title contenders David Hatton and Danny Henney coming together at the start of the second lap in Interlagos at the end of last season as well. Not to mention the incidents that we saw at the Suzuka finale at the end of the first Formula Renault Challenge season. Power still having to defend that fourth place from Alex Jonsma, who is really looking to make progress here. Look at this.
He's showing his nose all over the place.
There's
no passing through here.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, it's single file through here. He's really just got to try and set him up down the back straight. Oh, there's a back marker that went
Danny
off.
Henney has spun.
Danny Henney.
Danny Henney has spun from the lead of the race. Luca Harrison leads. The championship leader, though, he has spun in the middle of the S's section, and we can throw all the maths that we have done in preparation for this out the window. Where has Henney emerged in 9th place? He's side by side with Alex McBride going down into turn 11. But what a moment for the championship leader.
Chris, I've just watched the replay. It was that little yellow sausage curb on the inside. He just clattered it with his left front, and that just sent him spinning. That was such a unnecessary risk that he was taking there. But I say unnecessary, he was under pressure from Harrison. So, you know, he feels like he's really got to go for it. And that was a big one, Chris. He's dropped back down to 9th.
Absolutely under pressure from Luca Harrison, who now leads this race 2.2 seconds clear, and is now, surely this is his best chance at his maiden victory yet. Behind them, it's still kicking off. David Hatton defending away from Kyle Power, Alex Jonsma and Dobbelsberger. Ellis still in contention as well. This is all going on for second place. Meanwhile, Danny Henney trying to make his way back through the field. He's gotten past McBride and is into 9th place. Now he's got a couple of seconds to close up to the pack, which I think will put him back in contention for second place if he makes some ground up. We've still got 6 laps of running to go, Chris.
We do, and going back to Carl Power, he's still under pressure into turn 1. He's having to go defensive again. Drillsma is going to go to the outside.
Absolutely.
I don't think he's going to make it this time round.
How many times have we seen this so far, this race? Pretty much every lap. Power has been defending, and he's put in some fantastic defensive drives so far this season. Probably one of the most stubborn defenders we have seen in this field so far. Much to Alex Jonsma's chagrin, I would have thought at the moment.
He is, and he has been in 3rd place for a number of times, and actually in the Spa race at the very beginning, the 2 leaders kind of took themselves out of contention. He's having to defend really hard here, Chris.
Yeah, this is the best run that Jonsma's had so far in this battle for 3rd place. Power once again holds it firm on the inside, but surely Jonsma's going to get a fantastic run down this straight now. Tucked right up behind that rear wing, and Power chooses not to defend this one, so it's going to be Jonsma with the line down towards the braking zone at turn 12.
He might try and get a cut back here if he breaks a little bit earlier. Jonsma's surely got the line.
This is all for 3rd place. Power tries to brave it out around the outside, so Jonsma has to leave him some space on the exit, and Power will have the line into the right-hander and can just about hang on to his spot on the podium, but Jonsma's not finished yet. Going to try and get the traction through there. This is such an awkward section of track. There's so many different lines you can take through there, but there's no way through for Jonsma at the moment.
It is that wide, all the wide entries to the corners here just invite lunges, but you've got to be so careful not to just take your wing off. I'd say Dobbelsberger is just prowling just behind him. He's not quite got enough pace to really mix it, but the two just slowing each other up is just giving him opportunity, Chris.
Absolutely, and allowing David Hatton to romp clear as well. He's built up a gap of over 1 second now, and Jonsma once again looking towards the inside. Power defends, and Jonsma's now on the right-hand side towards turn 1. Still no way through, and that time Dobbelsberger very nearly got his nose swiped there by the rear of Jonsma in that white car with the black and red stripe. Once again, he gets the run towards the S's, but you just cannot overtake into there.
He's not, and he's got to treat the two of these guys like the back of a donkey. He just can't get near. He's just got to hope that they either take each other out, or if he gets a clean lunge, he's going to take it, but he's got to be so careful.
Danny Henney, meanwhile, in 9th place, has caught the back of this snake of cars, so expect him to start getting his elbows out soon, but for 3rd place, it's Joneswell once again to the outside. And Ellis! And Ellis has spun, he's collected Stephen Williams as well. That is really unfortunate for Stephen Williams, but Tim Ellis, who was in championship contention, boy, you can write that out of the books now as he is spun down at turn 11. Meanwhile, for 3rd place, it's going to be the change of position now as Joneswell with the inside. Surely this time he's got it done. Power once again will not take no for an answer. And has that opened up the door for Dobbelsberger? Oh, it's so close on the way into the stadium section. But Jonesma just hangs on to the place. So 2 contenders eliminated in that one. That's really broken up this pack. It's promoted Henney up to 7th. He's tucked up behind Gregory Leader at the moment. And then there is a bit of a gap to these 3 cars battling over 3rd place. What a dramatic opening to proceedings here at the Circuit of the Americas.
Poor Tim Ellis, he looked like he was, he just missed his braking zone by a couple of metres, and he was
Dobbelsberger now! Dobbelsberger from 5th place has dropped it! So all 3 of the main championship contenders have ended up facing the wrong way, and as it turns out, Henney is now ahead of all of them! I don't believe it, Chris.
I was say it was never going to be predictable, this one. Dobbelsberger is getting himself in a right battle here because he's got to try and make up some positions, but there's cars all around him, Chris. Back into the S's, they lock into single file again. Well, it's anything but predictable, that's for sure. And who was that behind him? John Lang was trying to go through. He showed his nose really badly. I think Dobbelsberger's going to be very careful not to get taken out here at all. He's got to score some points to keep his title alive.
Absolutely. So Henney is in 5th place at the moment, a couple of seconds to the battle for 3rd place between Drumsma and Power. So the numbers we had about them finishing 10th and 13th, we can throw that out the window because that was with Henney winning. But they need to be within 100 points at the end of this race to still be in contention. But let's rejoin this battle for 3rd place now as once again Drumsma going towards the outside. We're on lap 6 of 9, still only 2/3 of the way through this one, and once again Power just holds his line into the stadium section, although Johnson with a really good exit this time did draw alongside. Can he make his way around the outside of turn 15? Oh, he may have just found it this time with the inside into this triple right-hander, and Alex Jonesma goes through into 3rd place ahead of Kyle Power. But I don't think Power will take that line down as he's looking back towards the inside of that penultimate corner. I don't think he was going to make the lunge there, Chris.
No, it's such a dangerous thing to go in there. So yeah, that's Power. His immense defence has come unravelled there. Drillsma up to 3rd.
Plenty of comments coming in the live chat room. We are live on YouTube at the moment, so thank you very much for joining us. Of course, we had the curse when Henney spun, and since then we've had Ellis and Dobbelsberger spinning, and the reverse curse. So thanks to Sam in the chat for that one. Do keep the comments coming in, and make sure you subscribe to the Missed Apex Motorsport YouTube channel. We are on lap 7 of 9 in the feature race for the finale of the Missed Apex iRacing F3 Cup at the Circuit of the Americas. Luca Harrison, with a 3-second margin, is on course to take his maiden Missed Apex Esports victory. David Hatton is in 2nd place at the moment. Alex Jonesma, we just saw him make the move on Kyle Power for 3rd place. Jonesma himself going for the gold driver championship, but the overall championship leader Danny Henney is in 5th place after spinning on early on in this race, and that we thought was going to hand the advantage to his nearest rivals Dobbelsberger and Ellis, but they in turn have both spun themselves as well later in this race, and with just 2.5 laps to go, Henney looks like he's actually on course to stretch his championship margin. Whether it's going to be enough to secure him the title before these final 2 races, the reverse grid races, we will have to confirm.
I
just
can give you a live
after the race.
update there, Chris. I've done some numbers for you while you were chatting. So Danny Henney, if it stays as it is, so Dobbelsberger would be 71 points behind, Ellis 99 and Kyle Power 95. So in theory they are all within title range, but that is a tall ask for anybody but Dobbelsberger after this race.
Absolutely. So after this, we are pretty much looking at Danny Henney and Alexander Dobbelsberger for the overall championship. Harrison comes across the line and starts the penultimate lap of the race, and what a moment it is going to be for this kid if he is able to hold on to this. 2.5 seconds is his advantage at the moment, so Hatton did just trim it down on that last lap, but I don't think that's going to be worrying Harrison too much. He has had so much raw speed since he joined the championship 2 seasons ago, and he just has not been able to secure that first win, either because there's been somebody like Danny who is just too quick getting in the way, or because he's got involved in incidents. We have certainly seen so much potential in Luca Harrison, and now we are finally going to see it rewarded with a race win if he can keep it on track for this final lap and a half.
That is easier said than done, given that all of our top 3 have spun out so far, but he is by himself. He's about 2.5 seconds ahead of David Hatton, and they say that the final podium place well earned here so far by Alex Drillsma. That was a fantastic battle with Kyle Power.
Indeed it was. Power hung on to it for as long as he possibly could. Now, Henney is now coming up to the back of Power with a lap and a bit to go. If Henney overtakes Power, he will drop out of championship contention, I think.
He will, yes. Kyle Power has to beat Henney to stay in contention.
Yep, so if Henney can put the move on Power and secure 4th place, that will just, those extra couple of points will help him going into these final 2 races and eliminate Power from contention. And we will be left with, I think, just Dobbelsberger. How far would Ellis be behind? I think that would drop him out too.
Yes, Ellis would be 102 points behind, so it would just be Dobbelsberger who would be 74.
And the cut-off point is 100 points. And look at that, the white flag goes out, so we're on the final lap, and Power is going defensive against Danny Henney for this 4th place spot. He knows that this is his championship on the line as well. I'm sure he didn't arrive tonight expecting to win, but if he can keep Danny Henney at bay, he will certainly give it everything he has got.
The two are in the same race team together, the Venom Works race team, but they are certainly fighting very hard there. Power was keeping his line through the S's, but Henney's all over him, Chris.
Power had a bit of a good experience of the Palmer Sport Experience Day, where he got to drive all sorts of different cars, Caterhams, Clio Cups, F3000, all sorts of exotic race cars, and he is putting that experience to the test at the moment. Henney right up behind him now, and surely he's going to be making the move down towards turn 12. Again, Power not going defensive. He really prefers that outside line because he knows it will give him the advantage as they swing into the stadium section. We'll see if he can make it work against Henney this time as they're side by side on the exit of turn 12. This is the battle for 4th place, remember. Power needs this to stay in championship contention. He's just clinging onto it for now, but Henney is trying every which way to get past Kyle Power. Meanwhile, Luca Harrison up at the front of the field. It has been a long time coming for this kid. He is coming up to the final corner and is going to take his first ever victory in Missed Apex Motorsport. Luca Harrison comes across the line to take the victory in the feature race at the Circuit of the Americas. Well done, kid. David Hatton across the line in 2nd place. Alex Stromberg completes your podium, and Kyle Power just hangs on to 4th place ahead of Danny Henney and crucially keeps his championship just alive. And Danny Henney, how will he be feeling after that one? He could have had it wrapped up by now, but instead he is in 5th place, and still those nerves are going to be jangling going into the top 20 reverse grid race. Gregory Leader and Alexander Dobbelsberger behind them, Rosales, Lang and McBride. That was your top 10 for that race. And on reverse grid pole. He's just coming across the line now. Is going to be Richard Molden. So want to keep an eye out for that. But I think we've got Luca in the chat, Chris.
We actually have Danny Henney in the chat. I was going to ask him how he felt that final lap battle unloading with Kyle there.
It was really good. I just couldn't see where he was in the braking zone when I was trying to make the pass. So I had to leave too much space, and then luckily he managed to get back past me and I couldn't find a way. I was tempted just to use a strategic 1X and drive around the outside of him, but obviously I didn't want to be too unsporting. But it was really good. Silly mistake at the start. Just trying to push away from Luca and hit the sausage curb, and it just put me into a spin. But overall, not a bad result.
It is, and there's a couple of guys now still in contention. So your main title rival is Alex Dobertsberger still. He's going to be 74 points behind. So you got to get the job done, but it's looking good.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I had a bit of a ride grin when I seen him spin off in front of me. That was a bit of a saving grace, but yeah, it was good. It was a solid race. Not exactly the result I wanted, but I'll take that. That's not bad. A top 5 for a start to the night.
Thank you, Danny. Good luck in race 2.
Cheers. Thanks, guys.
Luca Harrison, we have brought you into the commentary channel. You are finally a Missed Apex Esports race winner.
I know. I got gifted it. Didn't think Danny was going to spin. I was just trying to keep as close to him as possible.
Well, you were putting him under pressure.
Yeah, I just got out the slipstream where he was about to pull away, but then he messed it up.
Well, congratulations to you. Of course, now you're going to be starting 20th. What can you do from there?
It's very difficult to overtake. I don't know. We'll see. I've never started this far back. It'll be interesting.
All right. Well, good luck to you, and we will let you go back to the chat and prepare for the reverse grid race.
Thanks.
Right. We've got a little bit of maths to do for the championship standings. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back with the first reverse grid race of the night.